Yes, people, we are live at the Albert JTV household. Match review time. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. But before we get into it, people, let's hit that intro. Footballing community, you should know what to do by now. Like, share, and subscribe. Welcome back to Albert JTV. A social media platform. Know what you're talking about. And what I mean by that is goals, ESR and Saka have done well. They've done okay. They've done well. Yes, people. Once again, welcome back to Albert JTV for this Sunday afternoon match review. So yeah, Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. 2 points dropped at home, in my opinion. People, as I like to say, obligatories, obliterate that like button. Share on all media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, going live at the moment. So yeah, happy Sunday, people, man. After the day before, should I say? So yeah, we draw against Brentford, people. Going into the game, for me, prediction wise, I went for Arsenal to sneak it 2-1. I thought the game would be tough, if I'm being honest with you. And that's irrespective of what the results before, losing to Everton and obviously losing to City in the Cup. Brentford unbeaten in 9 games going into that game yesterday against Arsenal. Mini form, 4 wins out of 5, 4 wins out of 5, so 1 draw in the games. So they've been on form. Listen, they've had some good results this season, and that shouldn't be forgotten. I know us as Arsenal fans, we're in a position in the league where we've not been in for a long, long time. So the expectation from us as fans, when we go into these games where they are must wins, particularly when you're at home as well. We got a good record at home. The problem we have at home, which has been documented, maybe not enough, is that we don't keep too many clean sheets, and that's the problem. We've only had 2, Newcastle at home and Nottingham Forest at home. We've conceded in every other single game, and I think that's the problem. We've got away with it because we've conceded and we've gone on to win important games of football at home, and we set the tone and the precedent for when teams come to the Emirates. They can't come here and dominate, because we are a very good possession-based football inside, where we're going to dominate possession for 50, 60, 7, maybe even 70% at the time when it comes to the play. But teams are not stupid, and I've heard people talk about the blueprint of how to play Arsenal, and I get it after watching the game in particular against Everton last week, because I think what disappointed me from that game was when I watched it back, is that it just came across to me like Arsenal almost weren't prepared for what Everton were going to bring to them. And I think teams have seen that. They're going to sit back. They're not going to take it to Arsenal and come on the front foot, particularly when they come to the Emirates. They're not going to do it. You saw that with the Newcastle game. So I knew Brentford would be tough, and it was actually a lot tougher than what I thought it was going to be. So we break it down. So we go into the first half. I think Arsenal are going to have to get used to the fact that when we play these home games now, for the remainder of the season, particularly in the Premier League, a lot of teams are going to sit off us, even if they are decent footballing teams. Brentford are, by the way, very good footballing side when they're at home at the Brentford Community Stadium. But teams are not going to come to us and open up. They're just not. And they know if they can keep within the game within the first 15, 20 minutes and not concede, they've got a good chance. I think what sort of concerned me, and it'd be interesting to know when you people watch this back live, or when you're watching it now live, or you may watch the stream back, is I thought yesterday we was way too easy in terms of Brentford just breaking through us. Yeah, they're going to hit us on the counter. Brian Mbermo and Ivan Toney got very, 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 very good relationship. They had the 3 boys in midfield. Is it Norgard? Is it Janvelt? And who's the other guy's name again? Jensen. They cut off the spaces in terms of the midfield area, and we couldn't really penetrate centrally. We couldn't. If you remember any clear-cut chances in the first half, I didn't see them, and I don't remember them. And yeah, we struggled even from the wide areas. Fair play to Ruslev and Rico Henry. They were proper solid. Rico Henry's a good fullback, man. Very underrated fullback, by the way. I have to give him a shout out for Brentford. Very, very good. Martinelli has obviously struggled in recent weeks, and he wasn't fantastic yesterday. There's a contributing factors as to why that might be, but I'm sure we'll touch on it sort of going more into the stream. But people, when you do join, just drop a hello. I don't ignore my audience, man. But yeah, you know what? We was very fortunate, I thought, in that first half, not to be at least maybe even a couple of goals down, maybe one goal at worst, because Brentford had some very good chances. Ivan Toney hit the crossbar. I think Ben Mee had a header cleared off the line. I also think there was another chance also in the first half. So it wasn't even for the possession that we had. Brentford had the better chances. They absolutely had the better chances. They counted on us, like I said, far too easily. And we had fleeting moments in the first half where the build-up play was patient. We got to the final third areas, but again, as you say, what clear-cut chances do we actually have? I mean, even if you rewatch the game and watch it back, we didn't have any clear-cut chances. We didn't, and that was disappointing. But I think for the fans that was going to the game yesterday, and even the Arsenal fans that didn't go, probably thought Brentford would be a tough game, but they expect Arsenal to come through because we're in a rich vein of form. We've only lost 2 games this season. In all our London derbies, other than yesterday, we've won, and we haven't lost. So I understand the optimism, but again, as I say, Brentford are no mugs. They've consolidated themselves in the Premier League after their first season. They've picked up some fantastic results this season. Like I said, they went to the Etihad and won. There's not too many teams that have done that this season and are going to do that this season. We still got to go there, even though we've got the game coming up on Wednesday. So it's going to be tough, man. I think with Arsenal fans, what I thought I'd touch on more in the second half is, and obviously the VAR decision as well. Wow. What a weekend. Not just our game, other games as well. I've seen the incidents back now. I cannot believe what I'm watching, but I'll come back to that in a bit. But I'm going to say it's gone out of my head. But no, yeah, so we sorted I was going to come back to the second half, but in terms of the actual Arsenal, I think most Arsenal fans, take away the fact of the social media aspect of it, particularly Twitter, knew that there's going to be bumps in the road in terms of Arsenal's course of the season, and also even more so because we're in a title race, we're going for the league title. There were going to be performances and certain games where we are going to drop points. It just depends on how the team's going to bounce back. Us as Arsenal fans, of course, we feel entitled. Of course, we're going to have our opinions and be disappointed. I was disappointed. I saw it as 2 points dropped, and that's with the greatest of respect to Brentford, honestly. But your home games, 5 points ahead, game in hand. You get the home win, it's 8 points ahead. It puts a lot of emphasis on City. It puts a lot of emphasis on City they have to come to the Emirates and win anyway. But I think the difference with actually, let me come back to the City game. I'll come back to it a bit more. Let me stay on track with the Brentford game. So yeah, I thought it was fortunate to go in at half time 0-0, to be honest. I thought Brentford had the better chances and should have scored, to be honest with you. I thought Ivan Toney was excellent, man. He was strong lad, man. Strong boy. Saliba had, if you wanted an introduction to dealing with, very good strikers in the Premier League, he got that yesterday. I thought he gave us endless problems physically. Tony's got good build-up play, can bring others into play, and obviously can score a goal himself, which he did yesterday eventually. But yeah, Arsenal make the sub and bring on Trossard. We started actually quite sharply, I thought, in the second half, which we normally tend to do, but I actually thought Brentford actually quickly kind of established themselves back into the game in the second half in the first 10, 15 minutes. But for me, do you know what? We made the substitution, brought on Trossard. And again, you know what? I thought he did really, really well. I thought he was done really, really well. And I think that was the one period where I can remember us actually penetrating Brentford in behind very, very good play with Saka and Martin Odegaard. Very good anticipation from Trossard. I think it was Eddie. If I've got it right, people, Eddie and Ketia knocked the ball across, I think. And listen, we needed that goal. We got the goal. I think it was on 59. Was it on 65 minutes? I think so. After that, you got sort of 25 minutes to try and see out the game, or we'll get a second goal and manage it. But at that point, that was a massive, massive, massive goal. Massive goal. And it was a tough afternoon at that point. We hadn't really got behind Brentford at any point in the game. Like I said before, in the first half, it's kind of a repeat pattern. We found it difficult to break them down in the wide areas because I thought Rico Henry and is it Roosevelt dealt very well. I thought Pinnock was excellent for them at centre back. Brentford and Ben Mee, obviously, he's a usual suspect. He's very experienced in the Premier League, and his time at Burnley, and he's had a very, very good season at Brentford. So they dealt with us, but we had the one bit of moment, a bit of quality where we got in behind them and we got the goal to go 1-0 up, which was key. And from that point then on, for me, it was how Arsenal are going to see out this game whilst trying to win 1-0 or maybe even get the second goal. But I don't particularly think we defended that great. Yes, I think there's been a couple of games where we haven't defended that well, to be honest. And it showed yesterday on quite a few occasions, to be honest with you. And then lo and behold, on I think it was the 72nd or 73rd minute, this happens with Ivan Toney scoring. I got to be honest, I don't know what you guys feel in the chat when you watch this back or Facebook Live or on the Twitter feed now. I was very, very disappointed with the goal we conceded. Now, I look at it two ways. Brentford deserved to be back in the game because I thought they had the better chances. But I look at the Arsenal goal we conceded, man. There's serious questions have to be asked, man, because to me, I would say there must have been at least 3 possibly 4 phases of play where Arsenal didn't win the first ball and they didn't win the second ball. And you've got to defend better than that. You didn't pick the guy up at the far post. Balls in the air 2 or 3 times. We still don't deal with it. Ramsdale comes flying out of the goal, doesn't get the ball, and then we're 1-1. I don't mind. Listen, I've got nothing against the team ripping us open and penetrating through us, or an unbelievable delivery of a free kick into the box. But I don't think that was the case for the Brentford guys. I thought it was a very, very poor goal to let in. And we actually had the warning sign before we conceded. With the it was with the Ivan Toney chance about 10 minutes after the start of the second half, where he's knocked the ball wide, and we got opened up again there. But yeah, the goal was a very, very poor goal. And as I mentioned before, we struggled to keep clean sheets at home. That needs to improve. Listen, as I said, there's going to be games where we're going to struggle this season. But for me, defensively, I thought it was a very poor goal to concede. Not good enough for me, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And to be honest with you, with the game at 1-1, it was absolutely delicately balanced. We made a few more substitutions, but I always thought there was almost a point where I think many years gone by in a game like that for Arsenal, we could even have lost that. And I get it, 2 points dropped 100%. I think it was, personally, and I stick by that. And that's nothing to discredit Brentford, because I thought they was absolutely brilliant. The way Ivan Toney and Burmo could link up, and Toney was just excellent, strong, and defensively they was very, very good. And like I said, midfield wise area, they didn't let us really penetrate them at all. But yeah, let me sort of go back, because obviously we had the contention with the goal. I actually wasn't aware of this at the time because I was out enjoying myself in a night out in central London. But one of the boys put in my group chat that I run that in terms of the mistake that was made, in terms of not drawing the line, in terms of the goal actually being offside. Norgard was offside. And you couldn't make this up. Let's be honest. Let's be frank and let's be honest. Let's be as transparent as we can be in terms of the officiating in this country. It's been spoke about for quite a few years, to be honest with you. and I can't remember what major tournament it was. I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it again. I don't know what major tournament it was, but there was a tournament where there were no English officials at one of the major tournaments, and there was a reason for that, because they're not good enough. They're trash. I'm sorry, that has to be said. I mean, and yesterday, again, I wasn't aware because I was at work, so I didn't get to go to the Brentford game, unfortunately. But I did obviously watch it. I finished work in time to get them and watch it. But obviously, I was made aware that there was quite a few other decisions in terms of the Brighton Palace game and the West Ham Chelsea game. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. I genuinely can't. And you have to bear in mind, these mistakes are happening, and actually, the mistakes are getting worse with technology. How can it be getting worse? You couldn't make this stuff up. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to swear. But you cannot make this up. And I think the problem you've got is you've got the likes of a Brighton who's chasing European football, and you get a decision like that, or the incompetence that was shown. I mean, I couldn't believe the Graham Potter mentioned it as a good save by Souček. I said, wow. I even saw the Ian Wright Instagram post he put. He sat there bereft, because you're sitting there watching football and you're thinking to yourself, we're told week in, week out, we have the best league in the world, one of the richest leagues in the world. We're one of probably the last sports, to be honest, that got technology in to improve the game. Cricket was years ahead. Rugby union, rugby league was years ahead. Football was very resistant to any sort of change, which really should be for the positive. But for some reason, in this league, and let's be honest, even before VAR got introduced, the refereeing standards in this country were abysmal. Howard Webb is probably thinking, oh my God, and I came into this. I knew it was bad. I didn't realize it was this bad. Not Graham Paul, sorry. What's his name again? Howard Webb. It is that bad. The officiating sucks. Let's be quite frank and quite honest. There's going to be more decisions over weeks that's going to happen where VAR is going to be questioned even more, and the people actually operating it. It's disastrous, and I'm really struggling to find words where I don't swear, because this Arsenal going for a title race here. They win that game yesterday. Yes, you can talk about Arsenal were poor and they were this and they were that and they couldn't break Brentford down. But when you have a goal scored against you that should be chalked off, that is a massive, massive problem. And let's be honest, right? What's going to happen? Is someone going to get fired? Are they going to be given gardening leave? Are they going to stop refereeing for a few games? Are they going to be demoted to what? The Championship League 1, 2, whatever you... What's the repercussions for some of these guys? There's none for the officials. That's the problem. So like I said before, when we knew Howard Webb was coming to be the new guy to head the PGMOL, and thank God Mike Riley's gone, or I hope he's gone anyway. I'm not too sure if he has. I think he has. After too many years at the top of the officiating and referee and the head of refereeing. My two words were to Howard Webb was good luck. When I heard he was getting the role, because you're going to need it. And unfortunately, and it's not going to, I don't take no pleasure in saying it's going to get worse. And something, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what could happen, because these are high stakes now. We're in the second half of the season, and mistakes, video technology was brought in to alleviate these kind of mistakes from happening. And I think the issue is particularly more so when you're getting offsides wrong, then you've got a major, major, major problem. But listen, it's done now. We've got a point. We're 6 points ahead. City are playing at home to Villa. I don't think that's a give me for City, the way their season's gone and players leaving and Pep's interviews and the FFP issues that are going on with City. There's a lot going on at that football club. And who knows, Villa could take advantage today. Emery's done a very, very good job since they've come in. I think Villa was second in sort of like a form guide of points behind Arsenal in sort of recent form. So Emery's done a good job. Obviously, took a defeat in the Midlands derby between Villa and Leicester last week. I didn't see Leicester winning that, if I'm being honest, but particularly away from home. But they turned them over, and obviously Spurs got turned over yesterday, so I feel a little bit better. But yeah, listen, we take the point. Am I happy with it? Absolutely not. Am I happy with the performance? No. I've seen some of the headlines in some of the some of the newspapers. Mini crisis of Arsenal being found out, and I was listening to Melissa Reddy on Sky Sports News, which happened not too long ago, and she spoke about Arsenal, and I thought she actually spoke pretty well about them. And she actually spoke about the media, even though she's part of it. Let me go to chat quickly. Matthew Ball, what are you saying, Matthew? Good afternoon, mate. Players and managers had to speak to the media after the game, so they are held accountable for their performances and actions. When are the officials going to make it the same? I don't think they will, and you know, the thing is with the whole Matthew, I don't know if you're into like what other sports you're into, but particularly rugby union, and I think rugby league as well. Excuse me, sorry, people. You can hear what the referees are saying. You can hear what the VAR officials are saying. So the people who are operating the video technology in the studio or the wherever they are when they do rugby union, you can hear the open dialogue, and you can hear the open dialogue when with cricket, the review system. Why does that not happen in football? Why are they never held to account? The reason why the likes of the rugby union, the rugby league and rugby union, and the cricket, when it comes to technology with them, is you can hear what they're saying, you can hear what they're discussing. With football, as fans, when we go to games, we're in a position where we're thinking what's going on, because they're not explaining as to what's being shown or what's being said. But yeah, referees are never going to come out. People have asked that for years. People have said it for years, but that's not going to happen. But it's again, like you say, mate, what's the repercussions? There's none. Demoted, gardening leave. They don't next referee the next Premier League game. It's not good enough. Remember a few years ago when, I don't know what season it was, I have to go back in the archives, history books, when Bolton Wanderers went down in the Premier League. I think they had a game. They had a particular Premier League game. I think off the top of my head, they was at home to Everton. And they scored a goal, Bolton, and the ball was over the line. And because at the time we didn't have video technology, that actually proved pretty crucial in them going down. And now we've got the technology, and it's got worse. Wow. I don't know what else to say, man. I really, really don't. But yeah, this is not going to be a long one. 23 minutes in, so I want to go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. And people, much love to you, man. Big up to people in the chat who did come, and when you watch this back, it's much appreciated. So yeah, listen, City on Wednesday. I'll be there at the game. Looking forward to it. Pressure games is what footballers want. It's what football's made of. Is you ask for any professional footballer, they want to play in the big games. They like the pressure. We certainly have that on Wednesday, irrespective of City's result today. For argument's sake, let's say they go and win. 3 points behind going into that game on Wednesday. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. The Arsenal fans, I put a rallying call out to you, and I probably don't need to tell you this anyway, but we need to absolutely make that Emirates Stadium an absolute flipping cauldron. We need to really, really ramp it up in there come Wednesday night. Bring your lozenges, bring your strepsils, because you're going to need it. We need to get behind our team, because at the moment, let's be honest, our form's not great. Yes, you can talk about we lost 2 league games this season. Yes, you can talk about teams are going to sit back and have low blocks. It's up to Arsenal to break these teams down. It's up to them to be. I like to see Arsenal a little bit more flexible. Switch Saka and Martinelli over. Yesterday, I see that he bought on Vieira and took off Xhaka. People were kind of probably expecting that to be the case the week before against Everton. A bit more of a change up. Be a little bit more flexible. Hopefully, Mikel will do that a bit more. That's what I'd like to see personally. I don't know what you guys think in the chat and when you watch this back, but that's what I'd like to see a little bit more. But yeah, listen, big game on Wednesday. I think the difference with this game against City, which is going to be the biggest difference when we play most of these teams, is City are not going to sit back. City will open up. It will work in our favor. We played a fantastic game against them last year on New Year's Day, but we lost the game. Results matter. Big game of football. If we don't lose, if we don't win the game, you mustn't lose it. Then they cannot gain ground on us. But it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. Can't wait for the game. I'm going to bring my lockets just in case as well, in case it gets very, very raucous in there, which it will do. Massive game. My gut instinct, people. I think we'll get a draw. We do have enough to beat them. I generally believe that. I think there were small positives we could have taken from the cup game, particularly in that first half against City. Still a very good side despite their struggles. They've still got some fantastic players. Defensively, we need to be a lot better than what we've seen in the last 3 games, because otherwise City will tear us apart. Particularly with Haaland there as well, and Kevin De Bruyne, who's not played the last couple of games. It'd be interesting to see if he plays today for City. Tactical reasons last time, apparently. Who knows? But I'm not a Man City manager. But people, much love. I'm going to log out 26 minutes in. Drop your comments down below when you watch this. I'll put this out on my audio on my Spotify and Anchor, so you can hear my glorious Sunday afternoon dulcet tones. I want to emphasize a dulcet. But yeah, people, there's people in the chat quickly. It's Matthew, thank you, bro. No problem. Appreciate it, man. Roll on Wednesday, 100%, mate. Massive game. Looking forward to it. I know some Arsenal fans are going to go into that game with trepidation. You can't help your emotions, but I'm kind of a cool cat when it comes to the big games, because I look forward to them and I want to see Arsenal win important games of football, which we haven't done for a long time. We've done a lot this season. We've got an even bigger one on Wednesday, so bring it on. But yeah, people, big up to you. Smash the like button if you haven't already. If you haven't already, do it when you watch it back. But yeah, that's me, man. Albert JTV, over and out for this match review, man. So yeah, people, for my outro, Arsenal 1, Brentford 1, 6 points ahead. Not playing great football, but I move on to Wednesday. Come on, you flipping Gunners. Let's do this.